Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Crypt of the NecroDancer Boss Guide video. In this episode we're taking a look at the NecroDancer 2 boss fight.
Return of the NecroDancer!
The NecroDancer 2 is a story-related boss in Crypt of the NecroDancer. Players can only encounter this boss when playing as Melody, and the boss will only appear after the final zone has been cleared. When players enter the room, they will encounter the NecroDancer alongside with a few other enemies. The main focus here is the boss himself. There's no point in killing other enemies, as they will not only respawn infinitely, but also there's simply not enough time for that. This is because the fight itself is time based. Slowly but surely the room is getting smaller and smaller over time. The longer the player takes during this fight, the higher the chance of dying. Eventually the walls of the room will close in, and when this happens, the player simply dies. That is definitely something we want to avoid at all costs. Therefore this fight should basically be treated as if it were some kind of speedrun. Make sure that you focus on the boss the entire time and don't get distracted by any other enemies. The boss starts off with a total of 6 hurt containers, and we have to bring him down to a single hurt container to start the final phase. During the final phase, the boss will teleport to the back of the room. The objective is to push the boss into the lava behind him. This is not as straightforward as it seems, as the boss has brought some backup. Behind the boss there's quite a big army of skeletons. You want to take out most of these skeletons first. Once most of these skeletons have been taken out, there's more room available, and from here on you can simply push the boss into the lava. By pushing the boss into the lava, he will instantly die and the fight will be over. Be warned though that the room is still shrinking at this point. This means you want to rush as fast as possible towards the exit. It would be a shame if you would end up celebrating only to find out that you had died because you didn't make it to the exit in time. When it comes down to the NecroDancer 2 boss fight, there's only going to be one appropriate strategy, which is the Speedrun Strategy. Basically you want to get through this fight as quickly as possible. It is time to take your speedrun skills to the test. Alright, so let's see what the speedrun strategy is all about. First things first, it should be noted that the walls are shrinking from the moment that the song starts. This is very important to take note of. What we've seen so far during the previous boss fights is that the starting area serves as some kind of sanctuary. When standing in the starting area, players are safe from any danger. As for this boss fight, this is not true. When the song starts, the walls are shrinking, and yes, they are even shrinking within the starting area. This means if you simply wait in the starting area, you can actually die. Because of this, we want to move straight away when the song starts. The first thing that you want to do is to enter the fight through the middle door. From here on, you want to make your way to the middle of the room and hit the boss. The best way to do this, and this is counted from the moment that you enter the room, is by going up, up, left. On this spot, you want to wait exactly 1 beat for the NecroDancer to come in close, and at that point you want to rush straight towards him. The reason why we want to hit the boss in the middle of the room, and you might already have guessed it, is because the boss will teleport to a random location. By hitting the boss in the middle of the room, we are pretty close to whatever location he's going to appear next. It is definitely not recommended to chase the boss straight away from the beginning, as once you hit him, he might teleport all the way to the opposite side of the room. Given the room is so big in the beginning, this obviously is going to take a lot longer, and as we know, time is crucial during this fight. Therefore, for the first hit, we want to make sure that we hit him in the middle of the room. From here on, it's simply a matter of taking down the boss as fast as you can. Now this sounds very straightforward, but there's actually one thing to take note of here. In the end, you don't always have to rush all the way towards the boss. In fact, you can also let the boss come towards you. The boss will always approach the player up until 3 tiles. This is actually a pretty good thing to take note of, as this can be beneficial for your boss fight. For instance, you can simply wait on the spot and let the boss come towards you. Once the boss is 3 tiles away, immediately start to approach the boss. This way you will reach him in no time. Now, this might sound confusing to you, but in fact you've already done this during the first steps of the strategy. Remember the first steps again? You went up, up, left. From here on you waited 1 beat for the boss to come in close. At this point the boss was 3 tiles away from you, and you immediately started to chase him. That is exactly what you can do throughout the fight as well. Definitely do not always do this though, as sometimes it might be better to rush towards the boss than simply wait. It really depends on the situation. If there's many enemies around you, it's best to chase the boss, as waiting on the spot is very risky. On the other side, if there's almost no enemies around you, you can simply wait on the spot for the boss to get in close, so 3 tiles, and from that moment you can start to chase him. Now, as for the difficulty of the fight, this will highly depend on how fast you are. The longer the fight takes, the harder it gets. Eventually there are going to spawn in stronger enemies. The most dangerous ones are the goblin bombers. In particular when playing low percent, as colliding with a goblin bomber during a low percent run means an instant death. Not to mention that there's also wind mages sucking you in. Combine that with the goblin bombers and you're going to have a really bad time. Fortunately, it is possible to prevent the stronger enemies from spawning in. This is simply done by reaching the final phase before they even turn up, so it's really important to be fast during this fight. Eventually, after hitting the boss a total of 5 times, the final phase will start. Firstly, you want to take care of the skeletons in the back. Simply walk up to them and eliminate them. You don't have to eliminate all of them, just make sure that you eliminate most of them. Make sure that you don't stay too long on the same spot, as the boss will throw bombs at you during this time. Once most of the enemies have been dealt with, start to push the boss to the bottom of the room. The bottom of the room is covered with teleport traps. You want to push the boss into the teleport trap and he will teleport to a place above you. From here on you can simply push the boss into the lava and that will kill him. Once again, make absolutely sure that you move towards the exit staircase straight away. Otherwise the room might close in on you, and yeah, that will be a huge shame, especially when making it this far. Alright guys, that is it for the NecroDancer 2 boss fight. Nothing too overly difficult, as long as you try to finish this fight as quickly as possible, and hopefully this video will help you with that. If there's still a strategy that you're aware of but has not been covered in this guide yet, feel free to leave a comment down below, as not only am I curious to see what this strategy is about, but also it might help out other players who are trying to get better at this particular boss fight. Thanks for watching guys. In the next episode we are taking on the 8th and final boss on the list, which is the Golden Loot. So stay tuned for more, and until next time. Bye bye.